Doing so, I guess in big business, if you're big enough, you can make a purchase, acquisition of another company without having full monetary value of it. And when you do that, you take on their debt.
Yeah.
And when TKO made that purchase, in their minds, they thought they were going to recoup quicker than what they were. It's not that they lost money; they just didn't recoup the amount that they need to recoup. And they notice when they go to certain cities, they make more than other cities. So I don't think it was much of a racial thing. It was more of a desirable place. So um, Las Vegas. A lot of people desire to go to Las Vegas. Even when speaking to people today, I'm shocked how many people never been to Vegas and they love to go to Vegas. Um, New Orleans. People like going to New Orleans too, but the cost of living and stuff in New Orleans is cheaper than Vegas. So they could go down there and they could charge what they want to charge in New Orleans, but it have to make sense. They can never go down there and charge Vegas prices in New Orleans. So they realized that. They looked at the stadiums. The Reliance Stadium holds so many guests versus the stadium in New Orleans that don't hold as many as that. And it's so many things that play into it. It's very sad because being a fan, I look forward to traveling to different cities and
Yeah.
in a process of traveling, never going to a city I never been to and learning about that city, taking in some of the sites, seeing what their culture is. That was one of it's kind of like you knock two birds out of one stone,
Yeah, for sure.
especially if
Cause
your
I
significant
agree.
other.
I
Yeah, if your
agree, man.
significant
Cause
other never been to New Orleans and she says she
No,
want to go now, you could take her out there, see WrestleMania, have a good time with her. You
absolutely.
know, and that was one of the highlights for me about traveling to these different WrestleManias. The
Yeah,
yeah,
price
cause
really
I,
didn't bother me as much,
I,
but now it's like we gotta go back to Vegas. Will we go to Vegas? Yeah, we probably do because we are fans and for the content. But do it make sense, especially if it's more expensive than what we just paid to be in Vegas?
yeah. I mean, I'm not feeling it. I'm be honest, because one, it's kind of like I don't know. I feel like the fans who probably went this year, they're probably gonna be like not gonna be as interested as they was, you know, like dang, we gotta go back to this place. It's kind of like the same feel. It's kind of like having the Super Bowl in the same
right.
city 2 years back to
Oh,
back.
wait, let me add one
Or
more thing in. It was an interview that was held. I was listening to where the lady, she is from Mississippi, and she said that her brother was a big fan of wrestling. She's a big fan. They was looking forward to driving up to New Orleans for their first WrestleMania. So you have to think about a lot of people that because you don't hear about WrestleMania going to Mississippi. So you got to think about
Nah.
them people in the town close that could drive 2 hours away to see it and willing to pay the money, but you just took
yeah,
that away from them.
Yeah, cause
yeah. I'm be honest. Go ahead, Ken.
no, you go ahead. You go ahead. You go ahead.
Now, I was gonna say because when we went to Philly, I feel like the vibe and the presence of WWE was much stronger in Philly than it was in Vegas. It was like yeah, we went to the convention, but like in Philly, every single place that we went, you could tell everybody was excited for wrestling. Well, whether we
Yeah,
went to the small corner stores, convenience stores, or places to get like a Philly cheesesteak, or anywhere we
Oh
walked, it
yeah.
was like everywhere. You felt the presence throughout the entire city, no matter where we went. Vegas, it was kind of like, look, it was spotty here and there, like to the point where it didn't even seem like anybody even knew or even cared that WrestleMania was even going on maybe because it was Vegas and Vegas always got events going on, kind of like a
remember, remember,
residency or whatever.
Philly is a wrestling town though. That's home of
Yeah.
I
ECW.
know.
I was just about to
I'm
say that
just
Philly is a wrestling city for
yeah,
sure.
but you see how the vibes was different there. It was a huge difference.
Yeah, D Jones was.
So Ken, I got a question for you.
Yeah,
I got a
what's up?
question for you. So Ken, here's one for you. So do you think that on the road to WrestleMania that you may see a few fans try to hijack the show about WrestleMania going back to Vegas? Will there be any
I think it's
petitions or
gonna
protests about that?
it's gonna be talking points like how we're talking about it. They just I will start with this. the way that they even announced it at Money in the Bank, it was like, we're back in Vegas next year. And they showed Allegiant Stadium. We're back in Vegas next year. That's it.
It's
It's the
crazy.
way they even presented it. It wasn't even it. What they should have gave a press conference. This is what happened. This is why we're going back. But we know why we're going back. The way they even presented it to us was wrong. I think when something is being announced or presented, that's important too, because you got to think about it as well. After experiencing Vegas, I'm not buying my tickets when the pre-sale happens this time. I'm not buying my tickets when they go on there
Not at
for the
all.
public. I'm gonna wait maybe a month out, like see if they catch them for the low, because it's like, what can I expect from this city differently? Nothing. The same thing. It's like the only thing different is the Airbnb I'm gonna stay in. But I think people are gonna talk about this. I'm not gonna say they're gonna protest, but I will say that they may not sell out as fast. Now remember, Allegiant Stadium last year or this year, WrestleMania 41, they said they made the most money ever for
Yeah.
ticket sales, but they didn't sell the most tickets in a short amount of time. They made the most money. That means tickets prices were so high, it was offsetting the a quantity of tickets versus the cost of tickets. So I think what's going to happen is this. I think a lot of fans will probably not go, but they're still going to sell out. Now, if they still charging them high prices, that's a damn shame. Because I've been doing a lot of research. They've been doing 2 PLEs a month in the last 2 months. 2 PLEs. And if they
Three
not
now.
been, it's 3 PLEs?
Three now. Yeah.
So they're hungry for money. Now they are doing more smaller shows in between, like town shows, house shows. You've seen a lot of that. But PLE, come on now, we grew up on one pay-per-view a month. One pay-per-view a month. That's what we grew up on.
I,
I think this is what I think needs to happen. I think people need to go out and rally, create a hashtag. We don't want Vegas, no Vegas WrestleMania, whatever it is, and we need to push that. Just like how they had the Cody turnover when The Rock came in and tried to turn things around, and they had the Cody chant and they switched up the storyline. I think that's what needs to happen, because if it's about money, and the content get diluted, that's gonna really turn me off. That's gonna really
I
turn me
really
off.
don't
So
think they
this is
go
where
sell
so this
this
is where
fast
I'm
or
at.
next year.
This is where I'm at. So the fact that you go back to Vegas and all of you guys are saying that it may not sell out as fast means you take what you can get from New Orleans. That's why I'm kind of opening
That's
up the door of saying, man, it's got to be some type of racial aspect to it. Because even when you look at, a team like the New Orleans Saints, there's a good mixture of white, but mostly a black crowd in there because they're a fan. Even though it's a different sport, but everybody loves wrestling. So if you brought it to New Orleans, you're talking about food, you're talking about culture, you're talking about, a gang of black people supporting your business. I just think they don't like the fact that they'll have to sell those tickets less than what they will have to in Vegas. So I think it's something there.